Looking for the best.
Hello. I'm going to start my show in a few minutes. I'm just doing a little bit of prep up and everything. So if you just wait a few more minutes and I'll be with y'all. Just give me about 2 or 3 more minutes. Sorry about that, folks. So when you rush and trying to get stuff taken care of, that's what happens. So that sort of thing. All right. Well, let me go ahead and get to what I need to do. So, okay. Let me get back to work. Welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show. This is kind of an ad hoc, casual live stream in spite of the title. I mean, it is, 100 seconds before midnight. I checked on the doomsday clock today to see what time it is actually, and it's pretty bad. So, not that I want to make too light of it, but I figure I'll go ahead and I figured I'd go ahead and have it's been a while since I had anything to drink and just damn. You know what? I need to go and grab something really, really cool. I need to go and I'll be right back. I screwed up. I need to this thing is this it's not a cork, but it's it's a twist top and it's just too tight. So I need to grab something in the kitchen. If y'all can just hold on one more minute, I will return very, very promptly. So let me just go ahead and put a little more interlude up there, and I will return shortly. So I apologize. I do very much apologize. So okay, let's do this. I need to do something about ads.
Wanted for hazardous journey.
Give me a second. Uh-oh. Okay, I don't know what the hell happened. So I will be right back in a moment. You can tell I want to drink. So okay, I am back. I just had to take care of this. Just stop here. There we go. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to indulge. And for those that don't, I'll do it in your behalf. So anyway, how are you today? I am fine. I'm just wanting to relax and figure I'll have a conversation with each one of y'all about this whole 100 seconds before midnight clusterfuck we're in with the doomsday clock. And I guess you need no introduction about the doomsday clock. If I remember correctly, I believe that the doomsday clock was I think they came about with it in 1947. I think it was when the doomsday clock was created. Let me check here on the on Wikipedia real quick. I think that's what it was. That's when it was created. Wiki. Let me check. I think it was created in 1947. I know that it was 1947, and it's been maintained since 1947. And I do know for a fact that we are as close to midnight as ever right now on the doomsday clock. And people are walking around as if it's no big deal. And that's really disconcerting. And this is not about taking a side. I think that anybody who's threatening nukes, and I mean, on either side, they're being assholes. And and everybody making it a one-side thing. Oh, Putin is a madman. He's a madman. Well, I think that the U.S. and NATO are pretty damn mad themselves because, you got people like Prime Minister Liz Truss in the UK who talks pretty damn casually about nukes herself, and she nobody seems to call her out on this. And I have a problem. I have a problem with that. To not call out, call out Putin, but not to call out Liz Truss. I mean, and Liz Truss is a pretty bad individual in the UK. I mean, she makes Margaret Thatcher look like AOC by comparison. So I mean, AOC on her better day, shall I say? But nuclear annihilation is something that we should all be concerned about. I'm 53 years old. I don't mind telling you all this. And I am having memories that I have almost forgotten about until this past year, like February, when the invasion started. I mean, I didn't even have this kind of anxiety when 9/11 happened. I mean, yeah, well, we were concerned about whatever Western city, whether it's London or Paris or whether it's New York or Los Angeles or wherever that could face an explosion or something like that. But I wasn't worried about nuclear annihilation, to this level. And that's where things are very wrong with the way we do foreign policy. Now, some people again saying, "Oh, well, yeah, Putin, mad. Putin is terrible. What have you?" Well, we made a promise to the former Soviet Union in 1991 that the former Eastern Bloc would not join NATO. That was the promise that was made, and starting with under Bill Clinton in the late 1990s. And I guess he wanted to appease the military-industrial complex. So it was, let's go ahead and allow some of these countries to start joining NATO. And then it went on warp speed under George W. Bush. And now, I mean, even this year, I mean, we have in Finland and Sweden joining NATO. I'm trying to think of just another country that joined NATO other than Finland and Sweden. I know that it was really, I was really saddened to see that, to see Finland and Sweden join NATO. But to be on the brink of nuclear war, I mean, I used to think about this shit all the time when I was growing up. So it was just something to have to resurface since the days of Ronald Reagan. And it's just horrible. And why this madness? Why are we having this madness? And I think that when George W. Bush became president, he had in his mind payback Saddam Hussein. It is payback. Well, Joe Biden became president in 2020. So I think that Hillary Clinton was thinking, Putin, it is payback for 2016. That's not an election conspiracy theory, but I just think she's got that, gearing up in her mind, because she really blames 2016 and the fact that Donald Trump became president on that fact. There was no Russian collusion, in my opinion. It's very simple why Donald Trump won the 2016 election. It wasn't because he was an awesome candidate. He was a pretty damn shitty candidate. So was Hillary Clinton. But people were fatigued. They voted for Obama to end these damn wars. 2 wars became 7 wars. droning continue. And the change that he promised never came into being. And so, I mean, there were some positive things that happened under Obama. I mean, not directly, but, you know, there were some positive things that happened. You know, so the Oglefell decision in 2015 that legalized same-sex marriage was probably the high mark of his administration. And him appointing some Supreme Court justices helped made it happen. So there were some good things that happened, but I wouldn't directly still say it was his doing. But, you know, there were some positive things. The Iran peace deal, the treaty between Iran and the United States, best thing that happened under Obama. And I think that Obama was a mediocre president, very mediocre. I was never impressed with him from day one. I mean, you know, I supported the little Keebler F named Dennis Kucinich back then. The Bernie before there was Bernie, if you will. And then I voted for Ralph Nader when, you know, when it became a choice between Obama and McCain. Because I knew that Obama was going to govern as a centrist. I saw what happened, how disappointed I was under Bill Clinton, and I knew I was going to get more of the same under Obama. And it happened. I knew the same thing was going to happen under Biden, and it happened. The only area where I would say that there is a dark Brandon is maybe on the National Labor Relations Board. There might be a little bit of a hope. That is the only area. No $15 an hour wage increase. You know, Kirsten Sinema made sure that happened in her little hipster outfit doing her little curtsy as she gave Mitch McConnell an affectionate pat on the back. No public option, no prescription drug, no meaningful prescription drug reforms, nothing. I mean, no labor law reforms or anything of that nature. And the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, which means go ahead and tell the Democrats to go give Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer more money and to vote harder. And that's their go-to answers, to vote harder. Well, I'm going to vote very hard for a third-party candidate for the U.S. Senate. I'm going to vote for one candidate. And then November. To each is their own. Anybody who is a Democrat that's on the chat line and don't like how I'm going to do, I mean, that's okay. If you feel like voting for the lesser evil is the way to go, I'm not one to judge. And I used to do the part-time Democrat thing, but I just can't do that anymore. I just can't, not even on a part-time basis. And it's just something I'm tired of feeling dirty and doing that and getting nothing in return. So, you know, I'm not saying that my being in the Green Party is the way to go, but I'm saying that that's where I'm at the moment. And I will say that's, you know, people need to charter their own course and do what they can to break down the two-party duopoly in whatever way they see fit. And sometimes I even think, why bother voting? But I still believe in the power to vote in some ways. So I am going to vote, and I don't mind telling you that I'm going to vote for Matthew Hoh, who is running as the Green Party candidate for the U.S. Senate in North Carolina, who spoke last week at the rally for Assange, hands off Assange. I finally met him in person, and we know the same people, and so that was and I did interview him a couple of months ago, so that was pretty neat. So now, just in case any of you want to know what I'm drinking my favorite wine, and that's Rosso Dolce. It's a sweet red wine. It doesn't bite back the way some of the other wines do, and it's my go-to as far as when I do like to indulge. And I don't do it like I used to. I just don't have the time to, and frankly, it could take a toll on my liver the way I used to do this all the time. So I do it on special occasions. So And I figure 100 seconds before midnight, if this is really it for all of us, whether it's all of us as the United States, or all of us in Russia, or all of us and all of humanity, I figure it's been a rough ride. And judging by who I'm seeing here on the chat line, I'm in very good company tonight with almost everybody I recognize here that I've talked to in the last, I would say in the last 2 or 3 years. There's one person I'm known for actually almost 20 years at this point. So I love each and every one of y'all, and I'm glad I know you. I'm glad I know y'all. So I'm giving you all each a toast. If by some miracle we get out of this crap that we're in, and this new version of the Cuban Missile Crisis, which is probably worse than the Cuban Missile Crisis at this point, but hopefully common sense will prevail, and hopefully there are calmer minds and calm people talking as advisors to people on both sides to talk to the leaders to stop this madness. I'm hoping it's got it. We even though I talked about how much anxiety I felt during the Cold War when growing up as a teenager during my formative years, I remember there was this thing called mutually assured destruction that I was always taught, and that one side and the other realized if one launches, the other realizes that could be it. So it was kind of an uneasy. It was just kind of an uneasy kind of an easy piece. And because of that, when you look back in hindsight, we kind of look back and be like, yeah, we really didn't have to worry that much. And I hope to God that's if we can avert this situation, and maybe this time next year look back and be like, yeah, maybe we were a little worried too much. I want to be optimistic. So, and as I said, if not, it's been nice knowing everybody, but it's not, let's not make it all like it's all doom and gloom, because strangely enough, I'm not saying this is foolproof, but I've been going online, because you can go online to find shit out, and why not give it a try? How to survive nuclear attacks. And I'm finding out things like buying a lot of duct tape. You have a lot of duct tape on you. So if you're near your dwelling, or at your dwelling when it happens, and you can't make it there in one piece, make damn sure that your doors and your windows are duct taped to make sure that none of the debris and air from the outside, as little gets in as possible, and stay in the middle of the house or your apartment or down in your basement or whatever as much as possible, and stay there apparently for like maybe about 7, maybe 9 days. Make sure you have a lot of perishable foods, that canned goods, that's or bagged goods that are stored, that are protected. Make sure you have plenty of that. Make sure you have plenty of bottled water. Make sure you have basics that toilet paper, paper towels, soap, alcohol, rubbing alcohol, bleach, what have you. Just some of these basics, just stock up on this sort of thing, so you don't run out. However you feel about gun control. I don't own a firearm. Maybe I should, because if you have a firearm, you can protect yourself from somebody who's trying to kill you or do harm to you. And so I would say that maybe some people should look into that. And after 7, 9, or 10 days, when you walk out into the world, make sure you're bundled up. Make sure that your ears and your mouth if you can, try to wear some eye protection. If you wear glasses, that's helpful. But if you don't, like, maybe wear goggles. And if you have any scars or anything like that, make sure it's covered up, because some of the particles, some of the radiation from that may be around could get into the wounds and could infect you. So, and try to find a safe place to go, if possible. And there will be probably some safe places. And if it's tactical nukes, you might be able to find places with some hospitals or airports or some places like that where you can get proper sheltering, proper food, medical attention, and things of that nature. So I would say that's going to be things that one can do to try to survive a nuclear attack. And some people will be able to with relatively little harm. Hopefully, that would be the situation. So, as I said, and maybe what I'm saying, I'm full of shit, but, I'd say, do what we can to survive. So that's kind of what I would say and everything. So anyhow, I'll be glad to talk to you all right now for a little bit. And around midnight, I will be signing off Eastern Standard Time, because Warren's going to be having his program up and around 12:15, and we want to go and see his program. And I'll go and give the link down in a little bit. So right now I'm going to go and talk to everybody for just a few minutes here on the chat line. Then I will continue and all of that. So, and hey, Warren, how are you? Yeah, the computer was like a nice touch. Hey, Yona, how's everything out in the western part of North Carolina? Let's see. Let's see here. All right. Hi, Uncle. Yep. And Hot Retarded Chicks, how are you today? How are you? Catherine, how are you today? Great. I'm glad you're back home safely and all that. You would have enjoyed the protest last Saturday. I'm sorry you weren't able to go. Let's see. Yana Chicks. Yep. Let's see. Hold on. We're going to go and if I do this way, I won't do it like in the latter part and be like long-winded for everybody and everybody kind of lose interest. So that's how I'm going to be doing this. Oh shit, Willie means business tonight. Yeah, I have my bottle of wine. I mean business. Hey, people. Hey, Nikki, how are you today? Let's see here. We have some Russian writing. Oh, no. Okay, the Russian writing. I cannot pronounce the Russian names, but this person says good vibes. And it definitely is good vibes. And Blue Moon Red Wine. How are you, Lucy? I'm glad to see you up. I'm glad you are streaming still on YouTube. Largely agree with what you're saying, by the way. Let's see here. And what we got here. Democratic Party has gone very downhill. Oh, tell me about it. You're talking about somebody who was a very partisan Democrat a long time ago. Some people think I'm a Republican because I shit on so much on the Democrats, but there are some people who think that my left-wing politics is so bizarre that they think that I am a rubber stamp Democrat. So I kind of get it from all areas. This live stream just ended. 8 walk away, Black American culture war, live debate, a lot of check mark, people in chat, Diamond and Silk was here, only about 1,000 watching. Diamond and Silk, I found out, are from Raleigh, strangely enough. Let's see here. We have DNC was a leak, note, and hack. The U.S. is a country refusing to negotiate. Matthew Ho's essay on disillusionment as a soldier is way powerful. Yep. The apocalypse is a decent reason to have a drinky poo. Oh yes, I think so too. Have fun chatting. They're pushing a good third party. Okay, and right now, and I'm going to go ahead and there's more here, but I will continue to talk on the chat line a little bit later on. So let me go ahead and where am I? Right there. So okay, and I'll chat some more later on this sidebar here. But anyway, as I said, yes, it's a doom and gloom of the doomsday clock, but at the same time, let's go and have a good laugh about it. Not a good laugh, but let's go try to make a best out of a bad situation, and let's just try to see what we can do to alleviate this. Probably one of the best things we can do while we're still around and alive and nobody's fired their first shot yet is to mobilize in the streets. I would say, to mobilize in the streets against, using of nuclear arms. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer that it's insanity. It's insanity to go to that level. I think war is insanity in general. I'm anti-war completely, but it's one thing to do conventional. It's totally 100% something else to go nuclear, let alone biological or chemical. And so I think that this is the time to go and hit the streets and to raise an awareness, because people walking around casual, they're going and living their day-to-day lives, and they're thinking, well, things are back to normal now. I don't have to wear that silly mask, and I got vax last year, and I don't have to worry about anything anymore. I mean, this is what people are thinking, and you got to go and worry about this, because if you don't, you're going to be suffering from third-degree burns and skin cancer if you survive the damn thing, and dying slowly. So I'm just saying this to kind of warn people. I know in the 1950s, there were people that were buying bomb shelters for the back of their homes and all that. And, I just kind of wish that people might have still continued to go that route. I don't know why they stopped it. It's always good to be careful. Now, when I was at East Carolina back in the 1990s, and this is gone years later when I went to visit, at the I believe it was at the east wing of the library. It was the air before I get to the stacks. And I got the funny story about the stacks in a moment. But before you get to the area where the stacks were, there was a fallout shelter at the library. It was a little ramp, and there was a doorway with a fallout shelter sign. It's been around at the Joyner Library all those years. It's gone. They gutted out that wing, and they gutted out that wing, and it's a large opening now, and it's a nice opening that they have out there. But I was like thinking they should have kept that. Even the fallout shelter, they should have kept that there for historical reasons, but that's the problem with this country. They'll go and tear something down without even thinking of its historical significance. Raleigh, Durham, they did that at the airport. They tore down the original wing, and that was something of historical significance, but that's beside the point. To do that, you never know when something like a fallout shelter would be needed. And I'm sure somebody with any common sense thinking, man, that was pretty stupid what East Carolina did at the Joyner Library and everything. Now, my little funny story about the stacks. My freshman year in college, I was studying for an exam, and that stacks area is a very darkened area and everything. In the library, that was the time when they closed at 10 o'clock at night. So I was there studying, and I fell asleep. And I fell asleep in that little stack area. There was a little wall area with a desk, and apparently they didn't check that area. So it was 3:30 in the morning, and I woke up, and I looked at the watch, and I was like, "Oh my God, okay." I overslept. And you know what? I didn't move for the rest of the night because I knew the place was booby-trapped with alarms, and I would have a lot of explaining to do if I would be moving around. So I was like, thankfully, I don't need to use the bathroom. So I was like, they opened this place up around 7 in the morning. So I'm just going to go and uncomfortably rest in this area again because I was in pain with the way I was sleeping. And I've somehow made it through the night. And it was about 7:30 when I got up, and I just kind of nonchalantly walked out. So I know it's not really exciting, but that's what happened. I slept in the library that was closed that night. So, and I just didn't want to do any over explaining if the alarm would go off. So I kept my ass down in that one area. So there you have it. That was back in about 30 years ago, a little over 30 years ago. Amazing how time flies. So anyway, I guess basically what I can do in the meantime, we can play some videos on how to survive a nuclear attack. If that's what you like to do, if you want to watch a little bit of that, we can do that. So I found one real quick one. So let me go get to that. There we go. It was very, very informative. I felt like it was. So let me go ahead and do this real quick. And as I said, I was like, oh, cool, when I saw that, and I was just like, well, that's informative. So let me go ahead and get everything set up here for you all. So little StreamYard thing is kind of awkward. So I'm sorry. All right. Almost had an echo there. All right. All right. Okay, here we go.
Boom. Blinding light washes out the landscape around you. Several things all happen within a second. First, your vehicle dies as an electromagnetic pulse spreads at the speed of light, killing all unshielded electronics. In the civilian world, that means practically everything. If you were not blinded by the flash of the explosion, you'd see sparks dancing along the high voltage wires overhead as they're overloaded with electricity. All modern vehicles that rely on fancy computers and electronic gadgets that make them super efficient and comfortable are now just useless hunks of junk on four wheels. Personal computers, cell phones, even pacemakers are all instantly shut down across a 40-mile radius, and they'll never come back online again. The power grid is absolutely ruined and will need to be completely replaced before it's ever operational again, a task that will take years. You're lucky that you were driving in the opposite direction of the detonation point, because if not, you would have been facing toward it. What's just happened about a mile above your city is the birth of a second sun that burns brightly for just a few milliseconds. That's all that's needed to unleash 1 billion joules of energy, though. And much of that energy is in the visible wavelength and searing the eyes of anyone who happened to be even glancing in its general direction at detonation. Those within a 2 to 3 mile radius will be blind forever, assuming they survive what's coming next, while anyone outside of that area might be blind for a matter of hours or minutes, depending on the distance. Even those who avoided being permanently blinded will likely suffer at least some vision loss as a result. You're safely out of the immediate impact area, but for those who aren't, ionizing radiation tears through their bodies from the detonation. Their DNA is completely unraveled as the ionizing radiation rips through them. It's like taking millions of microscopic shotgun blasts, only these pellets completely disintegrate the very instructions for life. Most people within a half a mile will die immediately from the radiation exposure, if what comes in the next few seconds doesn't kill them, of course. Outside of that range, the effects of radiation poisoning fall off steeply. You were in your car, which protected you from a lot of the thermal radiation, but not all of it. Your arm was hanging out the window, and even at over 2 miles from the detonation point, your arm has suffered some pretty nasty second-degree burns. You're lucky. 35% of the energy from a nuclear explosion is released as heat, and anyone caught out in the open can suffer third-degree burns at a distance of up to 5 miles. If third-degree burns cover 24% of the person's body, or second-degree burns cover 30% of their body, those individuals will go into serious shock, with death imminent. All flammable material directly under and surrounding the blast site catches on fire because of the intense heat. Even at 2 miles out, some of the paint on your car evaporates, and the car door becomes painfully hot to the touch. Tires on vehicles all around you burst as the rubber softens and weakens, while billboards catch on fire. People caught out in the open are consumed in flames as their clothes ignite while they're still wearing them. Some people's hair is literally seared off their heads, leaving behind painful second-degree burns across their scalp. This has just been 1 second into a nuclear detonation. Your car spins out of control as the tires go flat, but you're lucky to come to an abrupt but mostly safe stop. You have barely enough time to look into the rearview mirror before you see what's coming next. Like an invisible tsunami, the pressure wave is now smashing its way across the landscape, starting from the detonation point and radiating outwards. This has been a nuclear attack using an intercontinental ballistic missile, so the explosion took place a few hundred meters above the city. This way, the pressure wave could expand outwards unimpeded by terrain and buildings. A ground impact is highly unfavorable, as it leads to buildings or terrain features absorbing much of the pressure wave and limiting the damage dramatically. Directly below and up to a mile away from the detonation point, the destruction is complete. Buildings are flattened and tall skyscrapers are annihilated, leaving behind only the very core of each building, jutting up a few hundred feet like a shattered skeletal figure. Plenty of sewers and service tunnels crisscross a modern city, not to mention transportation tunnels in the subway. All of these are collapsed, killing hundreds stuck below or trapping them with no hope of rescue. Outside of a mile, the damage falls off, but is still severe. Multiple-story buildings are seriously damaged, leading to many simply collapsing in on themselves or against their neighbors. Buildings with only a few stories are less severely affected, but have every single window blown out and many of their roofs collapse, killing anyone below. At least the tunnels and sewers that crisscross the city here are safe from collapse. Only a few are seriously damaged. Almost no human beings up to 2 miles out survive if caught out in the open. You're just over 2 miles out from detonation, and here the damage falls off once again. Windows are blown out and some roofs and walls collapse, but generally buildings remain standing. As the pressure wave catches up to you, your car is physically picked up and tossed, like an angry kid playing with their Hot Wheels cars. The pressure wave blows your car over and threatens to tip it, but you're too far away and your car comes crashing back down onto all 4 wheels. Debris pelts the landscape around you, and you're mostly safe inside your car. A few people standing out in the street get taken out by chunks of concrete hurtled through the air by a 300-mile-an-hour wind.
Sherry Peasley backs student loan bailouts for the rich.
No, we don't support her because I support Matthew Ho. I don't know why I get that. I don't know why that's up there. So hold on a second. And we're going to just mute that commercial. Mute that commercial as well.
The roar of a second sun coming to life above your city has been so incredibly loud that you've temporarily lost all hearing. It'll probably return in time, but for those closer to detonation, they could experience permanent or severe hearing loss. A strange silence falls over the city 5 seconds after detonation, as a massive mushroom cloud slowly drifts up into the sky. Then the screaming starts. Tens of thousands of people seriously injured, tens of thousands less so. You're now on a ticking clock because you've survived the initial explosion through sheer luck, but surviving what comes next is going to take skills, knowledge, and quick thinking. Tick-tock, tick-tock. You've got 15 minutes before you're dead. What's currently happening and what will kill even more people than the initial explosion is that an ecological disaster is in the brew, and about to break out all over you and every survivor in your city. The detonation of a nuclear weapon above your city has sent ionizing radiation all over the landscape, penetrating into the very building materials of the city itself. The thermal flash and pressure wave pulverized all of that irradiated material and turned it into a very fine dust. Then the incredible heat, reaching as much as the surface of the sun for a few milliseconds, creates huge convection currents that suck up gargantuan quantities of air and sends it roaring upward into the sky, hence the mushroom cloud. But all that air is impregnated with billions of tons of highly radioactive dust, and in approximately 15 minutes, that dust is going to start falling all around you. You panic because you know what's coming, but you've got a choice to make. You could probably find a working vehicle somewhere and take that to flee the city, trying to outrun the fallout cloud that's about to break over your head. In fact, many people along the suburbs right now are climbing into their cars to do just that. But you're smarter than that. You know that even if you found a working vehicle in the next minute, you could never outrun the cloud of fallout looming overhead. It's being propelled along by winds in the upper atmosphere and will outpace anything but the fastest sports car. Plus, the roads and highways are inevitably going to be choked up with vehicles and other people with the same idea. The particles in the
I tell you what, I'm giving y'all this as an example of what can be done to protect ourselves from a nuclear attack. So, and you're getting the idea. So if you want to, just talk to me later on, and I can give you the link and all of that. So what I'd rather do at this point, let's go and do a little bit of comedy, because Nikki just said right now. What did she just say? Because hold on a second. Let's see. What was it she says here? Oh, right here. She says, if John Fetterman texts me one more time, I'm going to go insane. Because that just reminds me of something dealing with John Fetterman. So give me a quick second here. Yeah.
Hey guys, so I know you think that I am.
Okay, here it is. All right. Let me go and do this here. I remember when this video came out several years ago, it was funny, but then when somebody showed me John Fetterman for the very first time, I was like, oh my God, that's not that guy from that video. So anyway, this is from a Jacqueline Glenn video back in, I guess, 2016 or so. Dealing with a deranged pro-Donald Trump fan. So hold on here. Let's see. Let me get that thing set up. You'll see what I'm talking about. This is in connection to John Fetterman. So enjoy, because I laugh every time I watch this video. I think of John Fetterman every time I watch this video. So let's get started.
Hey guys, so I know you think that I am Donald Trump's biggest fan because I just want to hug Trump, like I so eloquently said in my last video. I just want to hug Trump. But I think I might have found somebody that loves him just a little bit more.
Let's look at the fucking presidential race in a serious light. The Americans are not respecting like they used to be. Donald Trump will bring that back times fucking 10.
The Americans.
The Americans.
Those Americans times fucking 10. So
doesn't that guy in that vehicle remind you of John Fetterman? He reminds me of John Fetterman, except he's pro-Donald Trump. But anyway, it's a funny video.
this guy is a huge Donald Trump fan. I pulled these clips from 4 different videos on his channel, one of which I think was titled Donald Trump is a God. But he drives around in his car and rants about how awesome Donald Trump is and how everyone else pretty much sucks. But don't worry, even though he's driving around in his car, he doesn't have road rage or temper issues or, do anything that might distract him. He's a very good, kind, and considerate driver.
Put a turn signal on fuck's name. Piece of shit.
Okay, maybe not. But he's not always an angry guy. He's got a funny, happy side. It's not at all creepy.
Oh, God. Y'all motherfuckers hate Donald Trump because the motherfucker's a straight up beast.
Yeah, that's why people don't like Trump, is because he's just a straight up beast. But that's okay. This guy, he knows politics really well, so his endorsement of Trump is obviously significant.
I'll tell you what, I don't know much about politics, Donald. I don't really think you do either, but I'm gonna tell you something.
Just kidding. He literally just said, I don't know much about politics, and then followed it with, but I don't think Trump does either. Okay, that, might be something important for being the president, but maybe not, maybe that's not a prerequisite.
I'd make a hell of a goddamn running mate to be vice president. Think about it. Me and you, Trump and Martin.
Trump and Martin. Doesn't that sound fun? This guy is pretty desperate for Donald Trump's attention. I just wanna He mentions being vice president so many times throughout so many of his videos. It's clearly, his little dream.
Tell you what, Trump and Martin. I want to be the vice president. Trump, listen, I will do anything to be the vice president.
Please, Donald Trump, I will do anything. All I want to do is be vice president to Donald Trump, and we'll beat everyone's fucking ass.
Many of these other fucking countries out there want to fuck with us. We're going to give them lead. We won't even be bodyguards. That'd be our fucking bodyguard. Think about it.
Please, I will do anything. I will literally do anything to be your vice president. I will suck your...
So anyway, vote for Trump, whatever the fucking electoral is, whatever the fuck it is. Vote for Trump. He's got my vote.
You could take me seriously. Whatever the electoral?
Whatever the fucking electoral is.
For the electoral, you mean the election, bro. Election, bro. Whatever that fucking electoral thing is, just vote for Trump. It gets even better. His views on foreign policy, perfect.
We need that fat meatball in South Korea, whatever the fuck his name is, Ha-Young-Gung-Gang. We need his ass to fear us. That's what we need. Donald Trump will probably wipe that fucking place off the fucking world.
We'll wipe that place off the fucking world, bitch.
And we will be respected. And that's all I got to say about that. At this juncture.
Why do you have to yell about every single thing? And sometimes whenever you scream, the timing doesn't make sense.
And now he's about to be the United States president, the 43rd or 40, whatever the fuck it is, president of the United States. So I'm voting for Donald fucking Trump, and I suggest you motherfuckers do too.
The 12th, 78th, 57th, fourth president. Fuck everybody, it doesn't matter. Donald Trump, 2016. Make America great again. But let's not waste all of our time talking about Donald Trump when we can bash everyone else.
Ted Cruz is 2 years fucking younger than me. Who would you want to fucking represent the United fucking States? That motherfucker or me?
Well, I am certainly not a Ted Cruz fan. I made a video about him a long time ago. But honestly, in this scenario where I have the choice of that motherfucker and you, oh God, I would actually give my vote to Cruz because you scare me.
Look at that motherfucker, then you look at me. Take a look at him, look at me. Look at that. Huh? Look at that motherfucker, then you look at me. Take a look at him, look at me. Look at that.
Well, let me say something about that. Apparently the guy that's a Trump simp that's a big fan of, he's a big fan of Trump that looks like John Fetterman, obviously isn't John Fetterman. If I had to choose between him and Ted Cruz, I don't know what the policy is of the guy who's driving the vehicle, but he couldn't be that much more of a hateful prick on policy than Ted Cruz. Because when it comes to policies, Ted Cruz is one of the absolutely worst people around. So I just can't really see this guy advocating policies worse than Ted Cruz. So if I had to choose between which one would lead, yeah, give me the guy in the vehicle. If I have to absolutely choose between him and Ted Cruz. Just saying.
Huh? Imagine the fucking women that would love me to be fucking president.
My God, yes. All of the women just want you. I want you to be president because you're so hot. Oh my God. I said I wanted to hump Trump, but baby, I want to hump you.
I wish Donald Trump would fucking have me as his fucking vice president, because I'm going to tell you, think about this. Trump Martin. That would be a pretty awesome fucking candidacy. Because if something happened to Trump, guess what? Bingo! I'm there. I'm taking over the country. Think about that.
Oh God, yeah. I thought about it. I did, and it's terrifying. So no, thank you. But Ted Cruz, we're not done with you yet.
If you're really that sensitive about Donald Trump putting a picture of his wife up next to your wife, my advice to you, Ted Cruz, is to get a better fucking looking wife. Get a better looking wife.
That's right, Cruz. You just need to get a better fucking looking wife. For those of you who don't know, someone posted a photo of Ted Cruz's wife. It was like a photo of her not expecting it, so she looks, like she's not expecting a photo of her to be taken. And they put it side by side with Donald Trump's wife, who is, I think they put a modeling photo of her. And they were making fun of Ted Cruz's wife because apparently attacking your opponent's political views is not the point of politics whenever you're trying to win a primary election. The point is actually to insult the looks of that person, and even worse, the looks of that person's wife. So my best advice, and his best advice, would just clearly be not to be nice and to actually debate like an adult whenever it comes to actually making political progress and comparing views and ideologies. You should just insult the wife. Get a better fucking looking wife. Duh.
Trump, an ugly guy, but gets high-end pussy. You, an ugly guy, don't even know what you got. I seen your wife. I mean, next to Melania Trump. I mean, what do you expect?
What do you expect? I am pussy, motherfucker. Now let's talk about Bernie fucking Sanders.
Do you want Bernie Sanders in office? Motherfucker looks like he's half dead. They got half his body in the grave already.
Oh, wow. Wow, very honest and legitimate criticism of Bernie Sanders. I mean, I could not have possibly said it better than wow, so eloquently spoken. I wonder what the Hillary Clinton sound is.
And Hillary Clinton? Come on.
Hillary Clinton can't defeat that argument. It's foolproof.
Hillary Clinton is so goddamn horrible at her job that she can't even speak remotely sentable when she's speaking in sentences context. She's fucking straight up horrible. And if she runs this country, she'll run right fucking out.
Wait. You're making fun of the way that Hillary Clinton speaks, and you said that she can't even speak remotely what?
Remotely sentable.
Sentable? The fuck? Remotely sentable.
Sentable.
That's a word. I mean, now. It's a word now.
When she's speaking in sentences context, she's fucking straight up horrible.
When she's speaking in sentences context, she can't even speak remotely sentable when she's speaking in sentences context. Exactly. I could not have said it better myself.
And if she runs this country, she'll run right fucking out.
And if she runs this country, she'll run right fucking out. And if she runs this country, she'll run right fucking out.
You know I'm not being paid by Donald Trump, although I am personal friends with Donald Trump.
Oh, okay. That explains everything. They're personal friends. They must be very, very close. I wonder where they met.
Me and Donald Trump played Call of Duty together about 3 years ago. Black Ops 1.
Oh, Black Ops 1. Oh, okay. Okay, sure.
We ran a mission over there in fucking Hanoi. And I gotta be honest with you, he worked pretty well under my tutelage, and I'm ready to work well under his tutelage.
Excellently spoken, sir. Anyways, I found this guy's channel, and his videos were hilarious. If you want to watch them, I will link them in the description below. Have fun with that. You would
pretty much that's pretty much it for that video. My point is it was just funny, you know, the fact that he reminds me of John Fetterman, except for the politics. As I said, I hope the guy's from Pennsylvania. He still looks like that because you know, it'd be funny he gets clowned at. Hey, you look just like John Fetterman, because it probably would piss him off and everything. So anyhow. Catty Ann was mentioning that the male chauvinism is becoming painful. Catty Ann, I'm hearing that the race is becoming narrow now in Pennsylvania between Dr. Oz and John Fetterman, and you know, it just that's kind of disconcerting in a way to hear, because I know that Dr. Oz is not Marjorie Taylor Greene per se, but he was so far ahead that it'd be a shame that all that was squandered away. So anyway, just interesting just to say. But you know what's interesting on Twitter is that dumbasses like Brooklyn Dad Defiant will praise John Fetterman to the sky. But 2.5, 3 years ago, he was taking a shit on Bernie Sanders. And people said that this guy's just another Bernie Sanders, that John Fetterman is another Bernie Sanders. It's kicking in. That's what I like it. I like it when it kicks in. So anyhow, it just gives that whole idea of how they tried demonizing him in the primaries. It was funny with Connor Lamb, the commercials. It was, being a Democrat running commercial ads that sounded like something that a Republican would have run in the 1990s. It was really painful watching that. It was like watching 1993 Rush Limbaugh talking points, and it's like. But that's where the Democratic Party's headed sometimes. It seems like the Democrats take what was really cringe from the Republicans 20 years earlier. They may soften the edges, but they take what is still really cringy about the Republicans from 2 decades earlier and adopt it. look what's going on with the foreign policy right now. I mean, they're sitting there just adopting a Bush-Cheney like foreign policy, and and calling people who oppose war right wingers. I mean, it's kind of the equivalent of those who were calling people who opposed war 20 years ago as traitors and all of that. But it was a little more like it was the right that was calling the left that back then. And all. So anyway, it's all crazy. So let's see here. Kicking in. Nice. Thanks. Maybe getting funnier. Thanks, Willie. Let's see. We need critical thinking. Kicking in. Nice. Things make things funnier. Yeah, well, yeah. I like getting buzzed, so that's what it comes down to. So anyway, I like to do more than get buzzed, but with wine. But that day's going to come in North Carolina eventually, where I can go and do the other thing if we don't get nuked in the process. Of course, after we get nuked and we survive, I'm sure that there will be no law enforcement that will go and end up prosecuting people for smoking weed if you can get some good clean weed at that point. But suffice to say, I know what I'm going to do when it happens in North Carolina. I'm going to go and to that dispensary. And I'm going to go and bring it home, and I'm going to make myself some lasagna, and I'm going to, I may have some guests over, and have some lasagna. May have some brownies for dessert. Some I Love You, Alice B. Toklas brownies. Now, I will play the scene right now, but I'm scared of copyright issues. But there's a movie called I Love You, Alice B. Toklas from 1968, starring Peter Sellers. And it's a movie about Peter Sellers. He's an American lawyer. Nothing eventful about him being a lawyer, other than he's kind of straight-laced, but he befriends a young hippie girl. This is in California. And he's giving her a ride home, but she has no home to ride to. So he spends the night at his place, and he's gentlemanly and all that, and he does his thing, and he goes to sleep in his bedroom and all that, and he tries to make sure he's not there to try to violate her or anything like that, and he was so decent about it. And when he went to work the next morning, he just told her to make herself comfortable. So before she left, she decided to make him some brownies, and she went into her pocketbook and she took out some she basically laced the brownies with some marijuana. So anyway, he came home, went out on a date with his girlfriend, who was a secretary, and with his parents. When they went out to dinner, because he was going to marry that receptionist, and they came home and they decided to have coffee and to call it a night, and they found the brownies and decided to have the brownies, not knowing that the brownies were laced with weed in there. And they got really, really fucking high off of the brownies. It was funny as hell watching that scene, and everybody got high in the movie, especially the elderly parents too. It was really funny watching that. They're called I Love You, Alice B. Toklas brownies, and he ended up turning kind of into a hippie later on in the film. I highly recommend that movie. It's one of my favorite Peter Sellers movies. Yeah, Peter Sellers was great as Inspector Clouseau in the various Pink Panther films, but some of his lesser known films, some of his box office flops were not that bad, but they just did not carry the weight that the Pink Panther films carry the weight, with. And funny story, when I was in Paris in 2006, I was I decided to go and have a picture taken in the area where the Woody Allen character, say the Peter Sellers character in What's New Pussycat, from committing suicide. And I was like, well, let me go ahead and take a picture in that area. So I unfortunately, I don't have the picture with me offhand right now, but that's okay. Oh, Spice Hunter is on the line here. Spice Hunter, guess what? I played the Jacqueline Glenn video with the with what's his name, the guy that looks like John Fetterman, the right-wing guy that looks like John Fetterman. So I just thought I'd let you know about that, having a nice good old laugh about it. So and oh, Dirtbag-Left is on the line. Hey, it's always great seeing you here, my friend. Always great seeing you here. Being there is my favorite Peter Sellers. I remember that movie. I think that might have been his last film, if I remember correctly. I like his 1960s films that really that were not really all that well received by critics. Let's see, what's the name? After the Fox was actually a pretty interesting film. In fact, I think I might like After the Fox the best of all his films. Now that I think about it, I used to say What's New Pussycat, but I now that I think about it, I think I like After the Fox a whole lot. And for those who don't know about After the Fox is a movie that takes place in Italy about a gold robbery that took place in Egypt. And they're trying to smuggle it out of Egypt, and they get together with, I believe, with the mob, the Italian mob, and Peter Sellers is sort of associated with them. His character, and I can't think of the name of the character offhand, but it's kind of interesting watching the movie. And anyway, and he's always the master of disguise. He's always changing in various disguise, and he's a con man. His main character. It's been years since I've seen the movie. The theme song After the Fox was performed by a British group called the Hollies, that were kind of in the style of the Beatles back then, part of the British invasion. And the song itself, After the Fox. Peter Sellers is actually collaborating in the song with the Hollies. So it's actually, if you ever get a chance, go ahead and check out on YouTube. You'll be able to find it easily. The song After the Fox by the Hollies. Another movie that I like by Peter Sellers is The Party from 1968. Probably it's a terrible way to say this, but the Peter Sellers character in the Party, he plays an Indian actor from India trying to make it in Hollywood, and he's kind of stereotypical Indian character, and he's a dead ringer, really, for Congressman Ro Khanna of California. If I can find a picture of the character from the movie, from that movie, hold on a second. Let me find a picture. Let's see, The Party, Peter Sellers. Let's see here if I can find it. It's from 1968. And it's one of my favorite films. Another one of my favorite films. And I'm not going to use that one. Yeah, I'll use that one. It's one of my favorite films from that time period. So let me do this here, and let me do this here. Let's see. Hold on. As you can tell, I'm a little bit buzzed right now. I don't do it that often, but I enjoy it when I can do it. So, all right. No. There we go. All right. This Peter Sellers character, and I cannot think of the name of the character from the movie, but he is the main character in the film, and he reminds me of Congressman Ro Khanna of California. Every time I see Ro Khanna of California, I think of the Peter Sellers character from the movie. I think of the Peter Sellers character from the movie, The Party. So, anyway, I just think, to me, I just think they resemble each other. My opinion. So, let's see here. Let me go ahead and do this here. Let's see. Blue Moon Red Wine writes, how did everyone move from apocalypse to movie? Geez, I must be one with depressive tendencies. Why get up tomorrow? Well, no, I'm glad you're here, Lucy. I'm glad you're here. And, just keep streaming whenever you can. I'm glad to see you online and everything and sharing your thoughts and all of that. And I miss you on Twitter. I really do. And I enjoyed the interview that we did about a month ago. But anyway, I'm going to get another glass of wine. Because that's what I want to do as we celebrate, as we're 100 seconds before midnight. And let's hope that this celebration will end up being a celebration, and that this midnight situation doesn't happen and calmer heads prevail. But that's how I am with my depressive tendencies. I tend to fluctuate from happy, positive to low and sullen and all of that in spurts and moments. Just something's happened all my life. I was a basket case for many years. I'm a hell of a lot better than I used to be. And ask anybody who knows me, and I'm just a lot of stuff that's happened in my life and everything. But things have, I won't say gotten better, but things are a little more. I guess things are just. I just sort of taken things more with a grain of salt. One mellows with age, I guess you could say. So that's a lot of. I won't go into too much detail about that, but suffice to say, I figure, let it not all be doom and gloom. Let's have some happiness, some sunshine, come in, and I am actually starting to get buzzed and everything. You know what's really cool about getting buzzed right this moment? I have right here a Guinness waiting for me right here. When I finish with this glass of wine, that's a whole bottle of wine that I've actually drank. So I had this Guinness, and I have a 6-pack of Guinness in my refrigerator. So I'm actually pretty good to go right now. And actually, I got wait a minute, I have a 6-pack of Guinness in the refrigerator. I have some Michelob Lights. I have let's see, I have 15 bottles of wine, other bottles of wine that I could choose from offhand right now. And I have a pint of schnapps, Dr. McGillicuddy schnapps. So I think I'm good to go without the alcohol. So, I got plenty of beer, I got plenty of wine, and I got some liquor in here. So, we're good to go. I mean, I don't have to go drive down down the street to go and get some spirits. I'm loaded up. You would think I'm an alcoholic. I mean, I used to drink back in the day heavier than this. I don't do this often. I mean, I think last time I drank, maybe about a month ago. I had a little bit last week when I was up in DC. So, let me find this. Hold on a second. Give me a second. My 15 minutes of fame, if I can find it. So give me a moment here. Y'all will see me from the march from last week in Washington, D.C. Let me, if I can just find it real fast. Let's see, where the hell am I? Yeah, y'all will see me from the march from last week. Last week I went. Last week I went to the hands off Assange, marching on behalf of Julian Assange because I'm a free speech absolutist, as you all know, and I believe in free speech very passionately, as y'all have known me for almost 3 years on this program. I preach it all the time, almost daily. So anyway, you're not going to get somebody wearing tiki torches from of alt-right retards like they were over there in Charlottesville in 2017. And you're not going to see me wearing a pink pussy hat like in the early days of the resistance and everything. You're going to see me be with principled, libertarian-leaning leftist types in D.C. So here we go. And you'll see me. So it's a very short video, 3 minutes and 24 seconds. Here I am.
There's only one decision. There's only one decision. There's only one decision. There's only one decision. Free, free, Julian Assange. Free, free, Julian Assange. Free, free, Julian Assange. Free, free, Julian Assange. Julian Assange. Free, free, Julian Assange. What do we want? I want to hear it. What do we want? What do we want? They need to hear the inside. What do we want? When do we need it? What do we want? When do we need it? That's it.
Everybody give it up for Ian Slackman. And I don't know where the other guy put the hat on the phone. I didn't catch him. He was super fast too. Ellie. I got a little emotional. For those of us who don't know me, I'm the
Okay. Yep. As I said, that was my one of many what you would call 15 minutes of fame. Andy Warhol talked about everybody having to be famous for 15 minutes. God, he was telling the truth all those years. Yeah, everybody was going to be famous for 15 minutes. And then that's definitely ended up being the case. So, yeah, I was happy to be part of that. I felt like I was part of something greater when I came there to DC, and I would do it all over again if I could. And I was very happy about that. In fact, to tell you the truth, I'm motivated right now to do more. Right now, as I said, we're in the cusp of World War III right now with threats of nuclear annihilation, or at the worst case scenario, long range nuclear weapons being used, even if it's just a short range tactical nukes. Is one too many. We should be opposed to this shit. It is madness. It is absolutely madness, and we need to go and tell everybody on all sides, what the fuck are you doing? Shake these leaders around, tell them you're playing with humanity. You're going to go and destroy humanity. Stop it. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do this. Not at all. Because, and here's the thing. We argue about this, that, and the other. What good is all these arguments if we're not going to exist in a month if nukes are used? I mean, we got to think about this. I mean, I live in North Carolina. I live near Fort Bragg. I live near Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. So, the target is there. I mean, I may not directly get affected by it. If it happens, if I'm at work at night, I'm in the Cary, North Carolina, I guess I will be far enough away from it that I could probably get far enough away from it. I don't know. And if it happens while I'm sleeping in the daytime, I mean, I guess I'll just duct tape the windows and duct tape the doors and all of that. And I'm going to start getting prepared. And that's all I got to say. And I guess I'll have to go and look into buying a firearm too and everything. So things like buying up a pistol, of some sort, some kind of handgun, and at the very least, just to protect myself if that happens. So anyway, yeah, I'm just let's see what we got here. We have here one of my latest friends on Facebook. You already loaded up on stuff to get loaded up with, eh? Pretty much. Blue Moon Red Wine, I quote for the answer: Extra Bulla, the Willie Buzz Show. Good times and good wishes to you. Yep. Let's see. Free Assange. Joe John Bolton. 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 And I was the one that started that, by the way. That was my claim to fame on that march. I was the one that got everybody to start saying that. So I'm happy about that. That was my contribution to the march in Washington last week. And if they're doing this every year, I'm planning to make a pilgrimage every year to DC. So I'm planning to be a permanent fixture there. If there is a United States next year, if we're not roasted due to a nuclear attack. So, anyhow, I will say I'm going to keep talking for a little while longer, but if y'all are chiming in and you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do so. Follow me here on YouTube. Follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Twitter. I'm on Twitter all the time. Even when I'm asleep, I'm on Twitter, as you can tell. You'll see me just always posting on Twitter. do on Facebook. I got off of Facebook for a little while. Like I went like about a month or two while hardly posting anything on Facebook. Then I kind of got back to it. So I'm sort of like where I was at back in 2009, 2010, phasing off between MySpace into Facebook. I'm sort of doing that with the Facebook and Twitter. So, I've had, I've been on Twitter a time or two before and never saw any point to it. But, I in the defense of Twitter, honestly, and I hope that if Elon Musk buys the damn thing, I hope he doesn't fuck with leftists on Twitter. That's my only concern. If he turns it into a free speech, if it turns out to be more free speech for everybody across the board, then we're not going to have a problem. But we are going to have a problem if it's council culture against every leftist, and that's my problem with Elon Musk, because Dinesh D'Souza basically is urging Elon Musk to basically find all people with even remotely left of center opinions to have them totally suspended for a week to see how they feel. In other words, the revenge politics is cancel culture by the right. I am tired of conservatives acting like that they're the victims all the time, and that they're always the ones that they're good players. I'm not saying every conservative is guilty of this, by the way. I don't play that game. I don't do the blanket indictment game. I really don't. I know people who are individuals who are conservative or libertarian leaning, who I have no problem with, and who I know are not bad people that I have some disagreements with, and they're not bad people and all of that. So I don't play that game. But I'm talking about there are people out there on the right that are out there with a very destructive mindset to basically all they want to do is to basically declare war against the left, because they're partisan hacks and they're authoritarian and they want their way, and they want their way only in there. And I don't play that game. Under what I want, ideally, conservatives may not like it, but conservatives will be still free under what I would want. But under what I would want, that means those who are disenfranchised will also have their freedom too. And that's the difference. Everybody has a voice. And that's the way it should be. Everybody should have a fucking voice. And that's the hill I die on. That is the hill that I die on. It's not that I'm good or I think I'm wonderful. It's just what I believe. It's just, that to have a good society, you got to have all voices having the right to speak their mind. And that includes the left and the right, a lot of the right who pretends to be for free speech. They really don't want the left to have a voice. And that's what it comes down to. They'll put up a little good game about the arena of ideas, and they want dialogue, whatever. People like Dennis Prager talk about how much he aches to debate the left. And the people he wants to debate are basically 9-pound winkling corporate Democrats. He doesn't want to debate real leftists. I mean, the closest thing he's debated to real leftists, and they're not really real leftists, but maybe they're more close. They're more closer. That's bad grammar. They're closer to real leftists, even though they're kind of shit libs. It was when, and I can't believe I'm defending them because I'm pissed with the Young Turks. I am not a fan of the Young Turks anymore, but he was gracious enough to show up on their program about a month ago. And this is why they don't want to debate the people who are kind of closer to a real left, because they get defeated. And not that I'm saying that Shank Ugart and Anna Kasparian are the real left, because they go shit lib when push comes to shove. When they're not shit lib and they put their minds to it, they're pretty good. But when they go into shit lib mentality, and that's what they have done since 2016, especially, they're not all that great. And so I don't support the Young Turks anymore for that reason. That's what it comes down to. And and I'll hold the online ecosystem, the online left ecosystem. You have 3 categories that exist out there. Roughly 3 categories. You have the TYT Sam Cedar left, what I would call the boutique left, on one side. You have the Jimmy Dore gray zone left, which is on the other side. And I call them basically the dirtbag left. And you have the Kyle Kalinske left, which is sort of in the center. They're like the halfway pivot point between the TYT Sam Cedar left, boutique left, and the Jimmy Dore gray zone dirtbag left. And that's the area where people sort of align themselves and define themselves as an identity when it comes to this whole thing. Even I have been kind of guilty of this and everything. Now, this whole division thing really didn't exist prior to 2016, but after 2016, it became more of a thing. And it became more of a thing because of the how to respond to Hillary Clinton, how to respond to Bernie Sanders losing in 2016, and how to go with Bernie Sanders in the year 2020, whether to go with Tulsi Gabbard back then in 2020 to the farther left, or to go to a more mainstream area with Elizabeth Warren, or to go on that steady course with Bernie Sanders. And for me in 2020, it was sort of like I went with the steady course of Bernie Sanders, and I was sympathetic toward Tulsi Gabbard. And and I get a little upset with Tulsi Gabbard a whole lot these days, but some areas she keeps a little bit of hope in me. So and that's the thing right there with the anti-war stuff. That's where the hope remains. But then she loses me on so many other areas and all that. So I'm like, what the fuck? So she kind of degenerated into being a smarter Dave Rubin in that regard. Good Lord, that wine's making me sleepy. And I was going to keep doing this video. But I work graveyard shift and I'm sleepy as hell, and I want to be wide awake for Warren's program at midnight. So let me do this right now. Hold on a second here. Let me do this real fast. Okay. Let's see. Oh, good Lord, let me find it. All right. Okay. I'm going to give you all the link right now. And, oh gosh, let's see here. Let me find that. Let me do this real fast. Let's see. It's scheduled for, I believe it's going to be scheduled for 8 o'clock midnight tonight. Hold on. Let's see. I'm sorry. I thought it was. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, right here it is. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get everything set up here for y'all so y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm ranting right now. So anyway, Warren Dearman, good guy, with the Indie News Network, has a program. Let me go ahead. Secret Show is going to be on at midnight tonight, Eastern Standard Time. And I want to be up for it. So I probably better take a quick nap. So I hope that each and every one of you will be up for it. Hold on a second here. There's his channel. It's called Extra Bulla. I will I can go and give y'all the link for that. Says one waiting. I guess I'm the one that's waiting right now, so I'm gonna put in a like on there. Yeah, if he looks back at this, he will know that I'm the one to put in a like for it. So be sure to go to his program tonight and watch his program, the After Party Destination for Inner Choose, Chicken Again, Rando Shit, this usual. Yep. So he's got a great program. I like what Warren likes to put on the air and everything. So go ahead and give him your support. Subscribe to his channel, and I'll give you a link and all that good stuff. So hold on here. Let's see here. Let me do this. So I wonder what would happen if I go and put the link down over here, because I said I need to go and take a quick nap before too long. The working graveyard shift and that wine just did it to me. So let's see. All right. I don't know if this would do what needs to be done here, but nah, that's not going to work. So I'll tell you what, I'll put it down on the description box. That's what I would do. So anyway, that's me being drunk, trying to do what I'm trying to do here. So my apologies, folks. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go and I'm going to conclude and talk to y'all later, because as I said, I got to go and take a quick nap. So I will go and wish y'all a good night and everything. So y'all have a great night, and remember, subscribe to this channel. And Warren, I'll see you in a little bit. Okay. Oh no, not the commercial. I need to get an ad blocker.
It's me, your heart. Hello.
There we go. Y'all have a great one. Subscribe to this channel. Support all independent media. Free Julian Assange.